I decided to have sex with 100 men in one night. Okay, 100 men in one night. And it was filmed, of course, for the wrong reason, for one of the worst possible reasons. And there's been a lot of discussion about this. And much of the discussion has been really on both sides of the political divide. Much of the discussion has been extremely sympathetic to the men who participated in this, saying that it was a pretty horrible experience. What do you know? It wasn't very enjoyable. Yeah, you know what? I'm not ashamed of that. And so, yeah, I blame them. Condemn the men for having sex with a drunk man. Now, there are a bunch of videos now circulating of having sex with 100 men. And the videos, and I don't have any of them to play right now, but you can find them on X and all that. That's a lot of things. That is disgusting, that is revolting, that is nauseating, that is awful, that is demeaning, that is, and I guess the experience, that's the game. Having sex is self-harm. It's always been the game. This is a self-destructive thing. It's self-harm. And it's no different from, cutting yourself, mutilating yourself in some way. It's like that. Now, you're right. It is harmful. It is self-destructive. It is in many ways sort of self-mutilating. Yes, but the men are also harming themselves. Emasculating, that is, all the bad things. They're the villains here. Shame on the men. It's also harmful. Harmful to the men. They are putting themselves at severe risk. Severe. For physical reasons. Big one being the diseases that you are subjecting yourself to, almost certainly. Also harming yourself mentally and emotionally. These men are just marks. They're pawns. No healthy man in his right mind would be a part of this. I mean, if to volunteer to be a part of this means that there's something really wrong with you. I don't think there are any victims here. But let me try to make sense of it. The only way to make sense of this, where 100 men can willfully engage in a certain act, an act that in this case, the only way to look at that, the only way to do it is to say that the man is the leader, that the man is in charge, that the man is basically the captain of the ship, even if a dozen other people, even if in fact 100 men. So for example, just one example of many, this is the important point, okay? Now, the only people I can even take seriously in a conversation like this are the very traditionalist conservatives. In a very real sense, women are robots who have no free will and no ability to make any decisions for themselves. It's like sex with a woman, which just physically looks gross because the woman, your whole, it doesn't make any sense. In reality, okay, it's disgusting too. And yes, it is shameful, gross. I mean, it's like getting smacked in the face. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You're not serious. You're not serious people. I can't have sex with you. Okay, that's my very simple way of looking at this. It's disgusting, and it's disgusting, evil behavior. Most of the people involved in this are not willing to admit it. And you're treating men, you're unduly demonizing someone who just had sex with 100 men in that case. Okay? Okay, responsibility is a dimension of freedom. You can sever them. It's like saying, it's like if you, what you are saying, this is as dramatic a statement as you could possibly make, and yet it only goes one way. Everybody choosing to be a part of this is an adult person, and you got buck stops with me, right? And you got to take blame for stuff that you do, because they want to have it both ways. Always, they want to have the cake and eat it too, because we can lament the double standards. I mean, the double standards are very obvious here. But even then, let's say, because there are, like I said, there are some people on the right who are also looking at this. And many of them, I'm sure, are listening to this, and they'll say it's completely incoherent. They say, except that in terms of the time constraints, I don't even know how that would seem to defy the laws of physics. So my take on it is I condemn the behavior of everybody involved. Nobody's being forced into it. Everybody does have free will. And that's it.